My best friend Nina and I were the kept women, the canaries, for two of the most powerful brothers in DC. We'd even meet up for bubble tea just to complain about our benefactor's insane stamina in bed. Then, the younger brother's one that got away was about to return to the country. Nina asked, "Are you gonna run?" "Whatever. I'm with you," I said. "You go first or I go first? Let's go together." That night, we were a little too obvious and got caught red-handed in the middle of our escape. The older brother was fuming, a cold smile on his face. He has the one that got away. I don't. What are you running from? When my family went bankrupt, Nina and I were sent to the powerful Chen family in DC. To settle the debt. I was with the older brother, Jack. She was with the younger one, Alex. Life with the Chens was actually pretty comfortable. The brothers treated us with a bizarrely identical attitude. They gave us plenty of money each month but not a second glance. We were more than happy with the arrangement. We'd even meet up for bubble tea just to complain about our benefactor's insane stamina. But lately, Nina had been distracted during her rants. I poked her arm. "What's up? Did Alex keep you up all night again?" She snapped out of it and sighed. "Alex's old flame is back." "Oh," I said. That was a topic I couldn't complain about. Because on that front, the brothers were different. Jack had always been the stoic, celibate type. I heard that before I showed up, there wasn't so much as a female mosquito around him. Alex was mostly the same. But the rumor was he'd always been hung up on the one that got away. Nina sighed again. "I think I should leave, to avoid running into her." I took a sip of my bubble tea. "Where to?" "I'll go with you." Nina seemed to make a sudden decision. "I'm planning to make a break for it." "Are you in?" I didn't hesitate. "If you run, I run." To be honest, Jack was pretty good to me. But sisters before misters. Good or not, who cared? Nina's face filled with relief. "So, you go first or I go first?" I thought for a moment. "Let's go together." Jack might not have an old flame. But who knows, a fiancé from an arranged marriage could pop up any day. I really should plan ahead and take this chance to escape with her. Nina slapped the table. "Deal." We run together. Then she started delegating tasks for our escape. "I'll be in charge of buying tickets and getting all the supplies we need. You're in charge of the plan." She paused. "If you don't make a plan this time, like always, then you're not running with me." She curled her fingers into a fist, the threat perfectly clear. I nodded frantically. Don't worry, I'll do it tonight when I get back. I'll make a PowerPoint and a Word doc and everything." This was different from a regular trip, after all. I had to take it seriously. With my promise secured, Nina nodded, satisfied. That night, back at the house, we both tacitly turned down our benefactor's invitations. She said she had a stomachache. I said I was dizzy. As soon as they left, I scrambled out of bed, flipped open my laptop, and started frantically drafting our escape plan. Partway through, Jack came back with some medicine, and I had to dive back into bed and play dead. He reached out and felt my forehead, murmuring, "Why are you sweating?" He tried to pull my blanket down. I clutched it tight, pretending to be cold. Jack checked my temperature again and found it had gone down a bit. Only then did he leave, reassured. The second his hand left the doorknob, I pulled my burning hot laptop out from under the covers. I was drenched in sweat, but I had no time to care. I opened the laptop and got right back to writing. Throughout the night, Jack kept coming in to check on me. Every time he entered, I snapped the laptop shut and pretended to be asleep. After repeating this dance until the sky began to lighten, I had just barely finished. I hit the save button, tossed the computer aside, and immediately fell into a dead sleep. When I woke up, Nina was sitting by my bed. She looked even more haggard than I felt. Seeing me awake, she immediately held out her hand, asking for the escape plan. I opened my laptop to show her. Why do you look so awful? I asked. Nina scrolled through the document, letting out a gloomy sigh. That idiot Alex saw right through my act, so he dragged me into bed for another all-nighter. As she spoke, her suppressed anger flared up again. Damn it, if I don't get out of here soon, I'm going to die. I was still half asleep. She finally finished reading and sent the plan to her own computer. I yawned and asked, "You've got everything ready on your end, right? When are we leaving?" Nina's eyes were cold. I heard his precious old flame gets back in 3 days. The Chin brothers are both going to her welcome party. We'll run that night. It's perfect. I nodded. Okay, you're the boss. Whatever she said, went. Nina handed the laptop back to me. Let's nail down the rest of the details while they're out. I'm going back to catch up on sleep. The moment she closed the door, I pulled the covers over my head and went back to sleep. I slept straight through until Jack came home. He took off his watch and came over to feel my forehead. How are you today? The staff said you slept all day. His hand was a little cool, and I flinched. I'm fine. With Nina's lesson in mind, I was terrified he'd see I was faking it. Jack started unbuttoning his shirt. Then let's get to bed early. I have a Pavlovian fear of him unbuttoning his shirt. I was so scared I started to stutter. Actually, I'm not totally better. Maybe we should just sleep. It took Jack a couple of seconds to process that, then he raised an eyebrow. And if we don't just sleep, what did you have in mind? What else could I have in mind? He was just playing dumb. My face flushed, and I pulled the covers over my head again. Nothing, let's just sleep, okay? Jack didn't say anything else. He reached out, pulled me into his arms, and quickly fell asleep. Having slept all day, I just lay there staring at the ceiling, wide awake. My mind was racing, going over every detail of the escape plan, looking for holes. I stared at the ceiling until dawn, finally feeling a wave of drowsiness. I could hear Jack getting out of bed, but my eyes wouldn't open. After what felt like an eternity, he leaned over and kissed my forehead, and then the room was silent. To lower the brothers' suspicions, Nina and I canceled our afternoon tea complaint sessions. We both stayed in our own rooms, perfecting the plan. Finally, the day of the old flame's return arrived. First thing in the morning, Nina picked a fight with Alex over nothing. Then she locked herself in her room, refusing to open the door even for me. Convinced she was just throwing a tantrum, Alex stormed out, slamming the door behind him. My eyes fell on Jack, who was sipping tea leisurely on the sofa, and I started to panic internally. Weren't you supposed to be going to a welcome party? Why isn't he leaving yet? If he doesn't go soon, we're going to miss our flight. I was on pins and needles. When Jack finally stood up, my heart leaped. I was about to give him a thoughtful reminder to drive safe. But then he glanced at me and frowned. Why haven't you changed yet? I froze. Huh? He checked his watch. The welcome party tonight. You're not going? Of course I'm not going. Feeling his gaze on me, I thought fast and managed to squeeze out 2 tears. I'm not feeling well again today. I think I'll sit this one out. I figured that would be the end of it. But Jack paused in the middle of putting on his jacket. Then you should still change. I'll take you to the hospital. I was so frustrated I could feel smoke coming out of my ears. I waved my hands frantically. No, I don't need to go to the hospital. I'll be fine after a little sleep. Jack's tone was non-negotiable. No. You've been feeling sick for days. You need to get it checked out. I shook my head. The welcome party is important. You should go take care of business. We can go for a checkup when you get back. By the time he got back, Nina and I would be long gone. Jack wasn't falling for it. She's an irrelevant person. We're going to the doctor first. Be good. As he started to physically pull me toward the door, I grabbed onto the arm of the sofa. Actually, I was lying. I'm not sick. Jack clearly didn't believe me. His grip loosened slightly, but his expression was annoyed. I don't care what you say. You're getting a checkup today. A cold sweat broke out on my back. Thinking fast, I clutched his sleeve. I'm really not sick. I just wanted to stay home and be with Nina. She's really upset today, and I'm worried about her. Jack looked at me suspiciously. I pressed on. You know she's one of the most important people in the world to me. I don't want to leave her alone. Jack must have remembered the whole messy history between his brother and the old flame. He let go of my hand and nodded. Fine. Stay with her. I was overjoyed. I threw my arms around him and gave him a quick peck on the lips. You're the best. Don't drink too much tonight. Bye. Jack wrapped an arm around my waist and leaned in. She's one of the most important people. Who are the others? Actually, there was no one of. Nina was my closest family. But I didn't mind buttering him up to lower his guard. You, of course. Just the two of you. No one else. A smile played on Jack's lips. Such a smooth talker. He leaned in and kissed me. My knees went weak, and I almost couldn't stand. Fearing he was about to lose control, I pushed him gently. You're going to be late. You should go. Jack finally let me go. Don't fall asleep tonight. To get rid of him, I would have agreed to anything. Watching his car disappear from the driveway, I let out a sigh of relief. I practically flew up the stairs to find Nina. I had barely knocked once when the door cracked open and Nina yanked me inside. I stared at the 4 huge suitcases in front of me and fell into a thoughtful silence. You call this an escape? With bags that cumbersome, we'd be caught as thieves before we even left the property. Nina clapped her hands, completely oblivious to the problem. Yeah. We take all this stuff with us so we don't have to buy new things. Once we're out, we can't use their credit cards. We have to save every penny we can, right? I was silent. Whatever. As long as she was happy. We waited until the staff was at dinner and started dragging the suitcases downstairs. But the bags were so heavy that we made a huge racket. An idea struck me, and I put on a furious expression. You and your stupid impulse buys. I'm throwing all this junk out. Our eyes met, and Nina instantly got the message. She dragged her suitcases toward the door, walking faster. Don't you pull that lady of the house crap on me. Fine, throw it out. I'll help you. The staff stared, dumbfounded, at our sisterly spat, too shocked to react. I saw my chance and headed for the door too. Fine, I'm throwing it all out. We kept up the act, arguing all the way out of the villa. I dropped the 2 suitcases in my hands next to the trash cans, grabbed Nina, and climbed into the car we'd called ahead of time. Nina kept looking back over her shoulder. Wait, the stuff. I yanked her back. What stuff? If you leave it there, they'll believe we were really fighting. It was the only way to buy ourselves enough time to get away. Otherwise, they'd figure out our plan before we even left the neighborhood. Nina's mood shifted instantly. Right. Trash belongs with trashy men. We didn't dare waste a second. As soon as we got to the airport, we grabbed clothes from our carry-ons and changed. As I changed, I urged her on. Hurry up. We need to make a few transfers before they get back from the party. There was no response from Nina in the next stall. I figured she was already waiting for me outside, so I finished changing and walked out. The moment I stepped out of the restroom, I saw Jack standing not far away, his expression ice cold. My brain short-circuited. Before Jack could approach, I pulled up my hoodie and tried to slip away with my head down. I'd only taken a few steps along the wall when someone grabbed me by the hood. I flinched, burying my head even lower. How did he catch up so fast? Shouldn't he be schmoozing at the party right now? With my head down, Jack cupped my chin, forcing me to look up at him. He spoke with a humorless smile. Faking sick, sweet-talking me, refusing to leave my side. So this was your plan all along? I didn't dare answer, avoiding his eyes. I was committed to playing dead. Jack took a deep breath, his tone softening slightly. Tell me, why did you run? Did I do something to upset you? I don't know, I whispered. Did I need a reason to stick with my best friend? Jack repeated, you don't know? I felt a pang of guilt. She was running, so I ran. Either way, I couldn't abandon Nina. My answer made Jack laugh, but it was a laugh of pure frustration. She's running because my brother has his one that got away. I don't. Why are you running with her? I didn't dare make a sound. Jack's voice grew heavy. Speak. I flinched, on the verge of tears. I can't betray my best friend. If she's running, what am I supposed to do, stay behind? Jack hadn't expected that answer. His breathing grew heavier with anger. After a long moment, he finally composed himself. We're going home. I spoke cautiously. Can I have my phone back first? I hadn't seen Nina since I left the restroom. I hadn't seen Alex either. So she might still have a chance to escape. I needed to text her, tell her to change her route. Jack shot me a look. Want to tip her off? I shook my head firmly. No, I just want to check the time. Jack held his wrist up to my face, showing me his watch. Here. I felt a lump of frustration rise in my throat. I grabbed his hand and pushed it down. Just let me use my phone, please. Jack's arm tightened around my waist, his voice cold. Don't bother. She's been caught, too. He paused, staring at me with a cold smirk. And her night probably won't be any better than yours. I immediately flared up. What are you going to do? It's your brother's fault for messing around with someone else. What's wrong with Nina running away? You brothers are both trash. The more I talked, the more worked up I got, watching Jack's face darken. But at this point, I might as well get it all off my chest before I die. I glared at him defiantly. What are you staring at? If you've got the guts, let us go. Jack tightened his grip, leaning close to my ear. In a voice only we could hear, he said with a cold laugh, I don't have the power to let you go. But I do have the power to absolutely wreck you in bed tonight. The color drained from my face. My voice trembled. I take it back. I didn't say anything. I'd gotten carried away and forgotten that Jack was no saint. Jack's expression didn't change. Too late. After a night of being tossed and turned by Jack, I woke up with a voice too hoarse to speak. Leaning on the wall, my legs trembling, I staggered to Nina's room. She looked terrible, her eyes swollen. I pulled out the bank card hidden in the lining of my pajamas. This is all from Jack. Transfer it to your account. This time, you run first. Don't worry about me. Last night, I had cautiously asked Jack how he found us so quickly. He said it was because the two of us together were too conspicuous. And two inseparable people suddenly having a huge fight and storming out with luggage was even more so. The moment the staff called to report it, he knew what was happening. When he connected it to the lies I'd told him yesterday, he got even angrier. I shook my head, clearing out the useless thoughts. I looked Nina straight in the eye. You go. Once you're settled, I'll find a way to meet up with you. Originally, I was only running because I didn't want to be separated from Nina. So when she ran, I ran. But after last night, my resolve was solidified. I couldn't stay with a man like Jack for long. Nina's eyes reddened. She shook her head. I can't run. Alex took all my documents. I quickly grabbed a tissue to wipe her tears and asked what happened. Nina sniffled. He said I have no right to be jealous of his old flame, and that I'm stuck by his side for life. I clenched my fists. That damn scumbag. After a moment's thought, I looked into Nina's eyes. Don't worry. I'll get your documents back for you. Nina couldn't hold it in any longer and threw her arms around me, sobbing. I sighed and patted her back. Nina and I never had any kind of real versus fake heiress rivalry. Because to our parents, we were both just commodities to be traded. So when the family business started to decline, they were already scheming to sell us off. It was Nina and I who refused, to the death. We took countless beatings for it. Every time, she would shield me with her own body. During our time with that family, we only had each other to rely on. Later, when the family went bankrupt, they sent us directly to the Chens to settle the debt. We initially compromised only because the Chen brothers were infinitely better than those sleazy, second-generation rich kids. It was also to find the right opportunity to leave. Especially now that Nina was so unhappy. So no matter what, I had to help her get out of here first. With that thought, I opened the closet and started searching. At 11 o'clock at night, I planned to sneak into Jack's study. The light was still on. I pressed my ear to the door and listened for a long time but heard nothing. Just as I was about to push the door open, I heard Jack's voice. It sounded a bit muffled. Is yours still planning to run? Alex sighed. Yeah. We had another huge fight last night. I pursed my lips in a cold sneer. Jack seemed to chuckle. Then it won't be long for mine either. The brothers were clearly settling in for an all-night chat. My plan was a bust. I stood up straight, intending to go back to my room. But just as I turned, the door was yanked open from the inside. Alex's eyes fell on me, and his ears turned beet red. He spun around quickly, stammering a greeting. Sister-in-law. Before I could even reply, he faced the wall and hurried away. Jack strode out and draped his jacket over me. His voice was unreadable. Dressed like this in the middle of the night. What were you planning? My face was burning hot. Jack pressed. Well? The upward lilt at the end of his words sent a shiver through me. Fed up, I pushed him against the wall and kissed him. It was always Jack who initiated things I had no experience. After a couple of clumsy pecks, I didn't know what to do next. Jack grabbed my waist, putting a little distance between us. Changing tactics? At this point, I just squeezed out a couple of tears. Nina's been in a really bad mood these last 2 days. She's not doing well at all. Can you just give us our documents back so I can take her out for a bit to clear her head? This was just a probe, to set up my real, smaller request. I never expected Jack to agree. Jack's eyes instantly cleared, his voice turning cold. And then, during your trip, you'd fake an accident and never come back. Is that it? I was surprised and, at the same time, a little guilty. That was my exact plan. But I couldn't admit it. I shook my head like a bobblehead doll. No. I wasn't planning that at all. We just need to unwind. Jack snorted, clearly not believing a word. I glanced at his expression and continued, if you're worried, let her go alone. I won't go. Jack predicted my next move perfectly. Right. You won't go. You'll wait for her to get settled, and then you'll find a way to run. I clenched my jaw. Did he plant a bug on me? How did he guess that? I cursed him out 1,000 times in my head, but on the surface, I denied everything. No. I would never think of that. If I run, you can do whatever you want with me. For now, the goal was just to get Nina out safely. So I'd say whatever sounded good. Jack didn't bite. He looked me up and down. So tonight you're sacrificing your body for your friend, trying to seduce me? I nervously pulled the jacket tighter. Jack let out another cold laugh. His words had a strange, passive-aggressive edge. She's certainly important to you. I hooked his finger with mine and played the sympathy card. Your brother isn't like you. He has his old flame. Forcing Nina to stay is just mutual torture. It's better to let her go, so your brother can get back together with his one that got away, right? Jack was unmoved. I don't meddle in other people's business. Seeing him so stubborn, I stomped on his foot in frustration. Get out of my way. With that, I turned to leave. And started brainstorming a new plan. But I hadn't taken 2 steps before Jack pulled me back. I'm not moving. All the stress lately, combined with catching a chill during our escape attempt, took its toll. That night, I came down with a high fever. Jack's hand flew to my forehead, and he sat bolt upright. Chloe? My eyes were squeezed shut, and I started talking nonsense. Jack. Jack answered. Then I said, let Nina go. Jack didn't say anything. Just as my heart started pounding, thinking I'd given myself away, I heard him mutter, heartless. All day long, all you think about is her. I didn't have time to process what that meant and repeated my request. But a long time passed, and Jack didn't make a sound. I couldn't help but peek through one eyelid. Our eyes met. I quickly shut them again, pretending to be asleep. Jack said, exasperated, stop faking. I know you're awake. I clutched the blanket. So, can you? Jack lowered his gaze. I can give you her documents. I can't guarantee what happens after that. I was ecstatic and nodded repeatedly. Okay. Having the documents was enough. I couldn't ask for too much more from Jack. Jack left the room. A few moments later, he came back with Nina's documents. I quickly reached for them. Thank you. You're the best. Jack sneered, no, I'm not. The words he'd muttered earlier popped into my head. My eyes darted around. After hiding the documents under my pillow, I wrapped my arms around his waist. You are. You're the best. Jack ruffled my hair. If you trick me again, I'll make sure you can't get out of bed for 6 months. I pressed my face against his abs and raised a hand to swear. I won't trick you this time. Next time, no promises. Under Jack's watchful eye, I had to wait until my fever broke before I could go to Nina's room. Nina had learned her lesson. This time, she only took cards and cash. She took the documents from me and asked, aren't you coming with me? I shook my head. If we go together, you'll never get away. Besides, Jack wasn't bad to me. Instead of both of us running, it was better for Nina to leave first. Seeing Nina's eyes well up, I gave her a hug. Don't worry. I'll contact you once you're settled. Maybe I'll come find you after a while. Nina forced a smile. I added, Alex isn't coming home tonight. Make sure you leave behind plenty of distractions. Nina nodded. With Jack's deliberate help, she left easily. To avoid arousing Alex's suspicion, she kept liking videos on her social feed. That night, only after I received a message that Nina had landed safely did I finally relax. Jack insisted on a thank you gift. At the peak of our passion, he looked down at me. Chloe, marry me. My sanity snapped back into place. I stammered, don't say things like that. What if he was just caught up in the moment, and I actually took him seriously? Besides, Nina and Alex were pretty much over. If I married Jack, I wouldn't even have anyone to gossip with anymore. This was the complete opposite of our original plan. As I hesitated, Jack's brow furrowed. You don't want to? I didn't know what to say. Maybe you should. Sleep on it and think about it properly. You can't just say things like that. My voice got smaller and smaller. Besides, you don't even like me that much. What if we have to get a divorce later? I had a very clear understanding of my position. I was just the canary sent by my family to pay off a debt. And families like his always cared about matching social status. What if Jack's mother disapproved, and Nina wasn't around? Wouldn't I be completely alone? Jack's face darkened. I'm here proposing to you, and you're talking about divorce? Wasn't I just planning ahead? But when I met his gaze, I didn't dare say another discouraging word. I quickly pulled the covers up. Let me dream on it tonight. Jack didn't press me further and lay down beside me. Just as I was about to fall asleep, I felt him poke my shoulder. What do you mean, I don't even like you that much? According to the script, he was probably about to shower me with sweet nothings. So I kept my eyes squeezed shut, pretending to be asleep. I was not going to answer that question directly. Jack didn't ask again. The next morning, I forced myself to wait until Jack left before I dared to open my eyes. The first thing I did was grab my phone and message Nina, "How's it going? Everything okay?" Nina replied instantly, "Perfect. Already settled in. What about you?" I quickly told her about Jack's bedside proposal. After explaining everything, I asked her, "What do I do now?" The typing bubble appeared for a long time. Finally, Nina replied, "What do you think?" "I actually think Jack's a great guy. 100 times better than that bastard of a brother of his." I sighed and typed back, "I think he's great too, but we were sent to the Chens to pay off a debt." A canary getting a promotion is something that usually only happens in novels. And I'm not even sure if Jack was serious last night. This time, Nina's reply was even slower. Just as I was getting impatient and about to ping her again, she replied, "Why don't you test the waters? I really think he has a thing for you." After sending that, Nina went silent again. I asked, "How do I test it? Marry him and then get a divorce if I find out he doesn't like me?" That didn't seem right. Nina had disappeared again. I was getting really antsy, and after waiting an hour, I started a video call with her. She answered instantly, but I couldn't see her face. I could only hear her angry voice, "Alex, you bastard. Are you a dog or something? Impeach." I hung up immediately. She got caught again, that fast? And in those few seconds, I think I came to an important conclusion. It seemed like she and Alex were about to get back together. I silently cursed them out in my head. If I'd known it would be this quick, would I have had to sacrifice myself? My back still hurts. With no good advice from Nina, I lay on the bed, thinking. Just as I was about to start my testing, Jack pushed the door open. He lifted his chin. "I'm not familiar with the term canary. Can you explain it to me?" I was completely baffled. "What canary?" After a 2-second delay, it dawned on me. "How did you know?" Jack looked exasperated. "You used my computer to log into your messages yesterday and forgot to log out." "How do you think I know?" The words died in my throat. I gave him an awkward smile. "I totally forgot." Jack looked at me. "Don't change the subject. First, explain what a canary is, and how you became one." With Nina's half-baked advice in mind, I decided to just lay it all out. "My family sent us here to pay off their debt. You never said you were going to marry me. If I'm not a canary, what am I?" Jack frowned. "Pay off a debt? See? I told you staying up all night makes your brain slow." I patiently explained, "My family went bankrupt and couldn't pay back what they owed you, so they sent me and Nina over to settle the debt." I couldn't have misunderstood. Ever since we arrived at the Chens, no one had been hounding us for money. Jack finally pieced it together. "First of all, human trafficking is illegal. Second, when did I ever say you were here to pay off a debt?" I fidgeted with my fingers. "Well, you never said I wasn't." My answer made him laugh in frustration again. "By that logic, a lot of people owe me money. How many canaries would I have to keep?" He had a point. I looked up at him. Then, I didn't even know where to begin. If it wasn't to pay off a debt, why were Nina and I sent here? Jack had already started explaining on his own. "I said I wanted to marry you. The betrothal gifts were already sent over. Your parents ran off and I saw you were upset, so I thought I'd bring it up later. And you thought I was keeping you as a canary?" I froze, a chill running through me. I was sure of it. At the time, my parents never mentioned a word about Jack wanting to marry me. First, they cried about how the family was bankrupt and owed a lot of money, begging Nina and me to save them. When we refused, they forcibly sent us to the Chens. As for the so-called betrothal gifts, I hadn't seen a single penny. Even though I had long understood their heartlessness, at this moment, my heart still felt like it was being pricked by needles. They didn't tell me because if Jack married me, they would have to provide a dowry. But if they sent me as a canary, they wouldn't have to spend a dime. Seeing my eyes start to redden, the smile on Jack's face vanished. He fumbled for some tissues. It's my fault for not saying anything. I should have told you sooner. Actually, I thought something was off from the beginning. You didn't treat me like a fiancé at all, more like a boss. But I thought it was. He paused. I pressed, thought it was what? Jack's ears turned a little red, his voice so soft it was almost inaudible. I thought it was your own little kink. My face instantly turned beet red. Are you insane? Seeing that I had managed to hold back my tears, Jack sighed in relief. I'm perfectly fine. I picked at the bed sheets and asked, we didn't know each other before, so why did you want to marry me? Nina and I were practically locked up at home studying from a young age. There was no chance for some long-lost childhood sweetheart reunion. When we grew up, we were too busy fighting with our parents to keep them from selling us off. There was even less opportunity to meet someone of Jack's status. Jack's ears were still red. Well, on your birthday, I was at the same hotel. I saw you from a distance, and I fell in love. So impulsive, so romantic. After his confession, he started interrogating me. So, you don't want to marry me because you don't like me, or because I scared you? I answered honestly. You scared me. Jack was the kindest person to me besides Nina. It would be a lie to say I wasn't moved. I wanted to run away only because I misunderstood my own identity. Afraid of causing another misunderstanding, I said, and the fact that I chose to stay behind this time should tell you something, right? Jack pouted. I don't get it. Spell it out. I made a heart shape with my hands. Love ya. Jack's breath hitched, and he pressed the back of my head, kissing me. As I was kissed back onto the bed, I heard him say, Chloe, I love you. Late at night, Jack was still peppering my lips with kisses. I suddenly felt wide awake. I asked him, what's the deal with Nina and your brother? Wasn't there an old flame? Nina wasn't the type to tolerate any nonsense. If it were true, I wouldn't have seen what I saw on the video call yesterday. Could there be another misunderstanding? Jack thought for a moment. Not really an old flame. Alex was about to get married to her when she suddenly vanished. She just recently came back. I think he kind of hates her. I felt a surge of anxiety. From love to hate. Then what about Nina? Then again, what if Nina suddenly became completely lovesick? At that thought, I quickly grabbed my phone to text Nina. Make sure you ask all the questions before you get back together. Don't be an idiot in love. If you come back without getting answers, I'm not helping you the next time you want to run. Nina didn't reply for a long time. Jack took my phone away. Stop texting. It's time to sleep. I was anxious. No, I have to get to the bottom of this. Jack locked the phone and turned to me. Wanna make a bet? I frowned. Bet on what? A smile spread across Jack's face. I bet this is just some kind of kinky game between them, and they'll come back all lovey-dovey. I pouted. I don't believe it. Nina wasn't that clueless. That was exactly what Jack wanted to hear. He nodded. All right. If I win, 7 times in one night. If you win, I'll give you 3 days off. I threw a pillow at him. Get lost. When I woke up the next afternoon, I saw a new transaction on my phone. $10 million. From Alex. Followed by a note, sister-in-law, I'm begging you, please stop. If you say any more, I'll never get her back. I'll explain everything you're worried about. I'm not a scumbag, really. I sent a screenshot to Jack. He instantly replied with a screenshot of his own. It was a chat log with Alex. Alex, bro, can you please get on your knees and beg your wife for me? Tell her to stop mentioning the old flame. I just barely managed to find her. Jack, you're the one who couldn't keep it in your pants. Whose fault is that? Alex, I can't explain it to you. Just please, talk to your wife for me. One word from her is worth 1,000,000 from me. Nina listens to everything she says. Jack, pay up. Alex, are you even my brother? You're asking me for hush money for a small favor? Jack, then never mind. I'm sleeping with my wife. You may leave. Alex, sent. I was cackling. After I finally got my laughter under control, I replied to Jack, "You're the best, honey. Love ya." 2 minutes later, Jack pushed open the door. I was a little surprised. You're not at work? Jack's eyes were full of laughter. Didn't go. They're coming back today. Begging us to pick them up. I understood immediately. It seemed Nina had said she wouldn't come back unless I went to get her. And Jack had used the opportunity to squeeze some more money out of his brother. I held out my hands to Jack. Then let's go get them. Pull me up. Jack pulled me into a full embrace. After a long kiss, he leisurely took me out to pick up Alex and Nina. It was obvious that Alex and Nina had cleared up their misunderstanding. From a distance, I could see the pink bubbles floating around them. I waved from afar. Nina instantly ditched Alex and ran towards me. The two brothers walked behind us. They deliberately lowered their voices. I suggest we stay close. Otherwise, we won't be able to clarify things immediately. Jack snorted, but his feet honestly picked up the pace. Nina and I giggled, whispering to each other. I asked her, "You're sure the old flame is in the past now?" Nina nodded. It's not even really the past. Alex said he made up the old flame story himself. I was surprised. Why? Nina glanced at the eavesdropping brothers and deliberately raised her voice. Because he's an idiot. After she called off the wedding, he thought it would be too embarrassing, so he invented a story about an arranged business marriage. From a distance, Jack's disdainful voice drifted over. You're that dumb? Alex was full of regret. If I had known Nina was coming, I wouldn't have made up that crap. He couldn't even imagine it. If he hadn't chased her down fast enough, he would have had to invent a whole new story. Nina lowered her voice. Seriously, what do you think of Alex? Behind us, Alex was visibly tense. I thought for a moment. He's a bit of an idiot, but if you put it that way, I guess he's not so bad. He let out a sigh of relief. Nina then asked, "And you and Jack?" I was silent for a moment. He pulled that love at first sight, secret crush at second sight thing. Good thing he actually used his words, or I would have definitely run away with you. Alex looked down, as if he felt personally attacked. Jack, on the other hand, puffed out his chest proudly. As we talked, Nina tightened her arm around mine and grinned. This is great. Now we can go back to trash-talking people behind their backs every day. The two brothers exchanged a look, then came up on either side of us and pulled Nina and me away. The first thing they did when we got home was present us with an agreement. The gist was that Alex would pay me a sum of money each month, and Jack would pay Nina as hush money, so that we wouldn't casually say things that would disrupt their marital harmony. Especially things like advising a breakup, a divorce, or running away from home. Nina and I exchanged a look and pretended to be troubled. Oh, we're all family. There's no need to sign these things, right? Alex pushed the paper toward me. Please sign it, sister-in-law. If you don't, I really won't be able to sleep at night. Nina looked at Jack. Big brother, you want me to sign too? Jack's expression didn't change. It's up to you. I think my relationship with Chloe is quite stable. He then looked at me. Right? Hearing my drawn-out response, he decisively looked at Nina. Sign it. Nina looked back at me. Are you signing? I didn't hesitate. If you sign, I sign. After signing the agreement, Jack was about to lead me back to our room. Nina called out from behind, I still have something to say to Chloe. Jack shot Alex a look. Alex immediately stood up. Let's go, Nina. You must be tired from the long flight. Let's go to bed. I poked Jack in the waist, teasing him. Weren't you so stable? Why did you need to sign? Jack glanced at me, his voice dripping with acid. I think we're stable. But I can't compete with her importance in your heart. I turned and hugged him. Don't be jealous. Jack was still stubborn. I'm not jealous. I pouted. She's more important than me. That's not jealousy. Seeing that I was determined to tease him, Jack suddenly let out a soft laugh. Just a reminder, I won last night's bet. My body stiffened. I tried to make a run for it. My stomach hurts. I'm going to sleep now. Jack pulled me back. It's fine. After you pay your debt, you can sleep all you want. I wanted to cry but had no tears. After paying my debt, I made a silent vow to myself. I would never make a bet again in my life.